Hello, sweet friends. Welcome back for another Read Aloud. Today, we're going to read a book about a holiday that actually starts today. Some of us celebrate this holiday and some of us don't. We all kind of celebrate different holidays as the year goes around. But it's always good to learn about other people's holidays so then you can understand what their celebration is all about. So, today marks the first day of Ramadan. So we are going to read It's Ramadan, Curious George. And we're going to learn about Ramadan, what it's all about, how long it lasts, and what happens at the end of Ramadan. A special month. George can't wait for tomorrow, when the month of Ramadan will start, which would be today. It's a special time of year for his friends, and George is going to take part. George and Kareem are so busy helping to cook and bake sweets. With a good little monkey joining in, soon there's a big pile of treats. Kareem is going to try fasting, a day without food or drinks. George is curious. Can Kareem do it? He'll need some help, George thinks. So many people, especially adults, maybe not so much young children, during Ramadan, they fast from sun up to sundown, which means they don't have any food or drink during that time. So if you think about it, the sun comes up pretty early this time of year, and it's setting later each day. So that's a long time. Do you think you could go all day without eating or drinking anything? Now, once the sun goes down and it is dark, then they are allowed to do that. But a lot of us are already in bed by then. And most of us don't get up in the morning when it's still dark outside. But during the month of Ramadan, people do that. And they don't do it just for one day. They do it for the entire month. So think about that. That's a lot to give up, isn't it? But it's in order to help you think about others who do not have as much as you. There are people on our planet that go many days without eating. This does not mean that people who celebrate Ramadan don't eat at all. They can eat once the sun goes down and before the sun comes up. So this is not about not having anything to drink or eat for an entire month. What it's about is not having food or something to drink during the daytime when we're typically awake and aware of if we're hungry or if we're thirsty. So that's kind of being aware of your body and being aware of how lucky we are and how fortunate we are to be able to say, oh, I'm hungry, I'm just going to go get a snack. Oh, I'm thirsty, I'm going to go get a drink of water, and just being able to do that. So Kareem in this story is going to try it. Some kids in families that celebrate Ramadan will try it, or they'll try it for a few days just to see what it's like, because as they get older, they will be able to fast for longer. So Curious George is thinking, I might need to help my friend Kareem, because if I'm eating snacks all day in front of him, it's going to make him really hungry, right? Day of fasting. George is asleep in his bed when Kareem's alarm starts to beep. Kareem wakes up for an early meal, though the sun is still fast asleep. So remember how we said you can eat before the sun comes up? So here is Kareem. Do you see how it still looks like nighttime outside? So he can get up and have a super early breakfast. But that will be it once the sun comes up. He won't have anything else for the rest of the day. Later, when it's lunchtime, Kareem reaches for a piece of bread. Uh-oh. Wait! No food until sundown. George keeps him busy instead. What is the sound George is hearing? It's a rumbling from Kareem's tummy. George drags him away from the kitchen. Whatever is cooking smells yummy. So look, George is keeping him busy by playing games like checkers and keeping him away from the kitchen. Boy, George is a good friend to Kareem, isn't he? He's really trying to help Kareem stick to fasting for the day. Waiting for sunset. Everyone gathers together as the sun begins to set. The minutes tick by slowly. It still isn't dark enough yet. Finally, it's time to break fast, which means stop fasting and to eat. Kareem snacks on a sweet date. A sweet date is like a fruit that's very sweet and it's kind of sticky. Then he takes a big gulp of milk as George loads more treats on his plate. "I did it, George," cheers Kareem. George nods. He's glad to be there. The room is filled with happiness and the peaceful sounds of prayer. So look, they're all gathered together. Now this was just the end of the first day. They all made it. Kareem did it. He went all day during the sun's time of day, sun up to sundown, without eating or drinking anything. Good job, Kareem. It's dinner time. Now it's time to eat dinner. The spread on the table looks great, with something special for everyone. This meal was worth the wait. Look at all the great choices: kebabs, curry, veggies, and rice. George spots a big pizza and takes a hot, cheesy slice. Now, if you hadn't eaten all day, do those foods sound really yummy to you? Oh yeah, you would be so excited to eat those things. Now that the meal is over, the best treat has been saved for last: chocolate-dipped bananas to celebrate Kareem's first fast. So there he is. Look at George getting the pizza. Look at all that yummy food. Remember, this is after the sun goes down. And here's dessert. Look, chocolate-covered bananas. Good job, Kareem. Sharing with others. Kareem invites George to the mosque. Now, a mosque is similar to what some of us might call a church, but it's where you go for prayer and to celebrate your religion and your beliefs. So that is what they call their building, where you go and you do those things. They call it a mosque. So Kareem invites George to the mosque. They gather to do good deeds. Together they make food baskets to share with those in need. Wow, look at George doing the action. He knows how to lend a hand. And when he spies a shelf full of shoes, George comes up with a plan. "No, George," the imam says with a laugh. "Those shoes belong to us here. But you gave me a great idea. We'll add a clothes drive next year." Now, when you enter a mosque, you are expected to take off your shoes. So they have like little cubbies that you put your shoes in. So as they're making these food baskets, George sees those shoes. He's a monkey. He doesn't wear shoes. He didn't know. So he's trying to put the shoes in the basket for people who might need shoes. And one of the church or one of the mosque leaders is like, no, those belong to people, George. But next year, we'll collect shoes and clothes and we can donate those as well. That's a great idea. So let's see. So there they are. Look, doing the can drive, the food drive, and they're making the food baskets. And here's George trying to give the shoes. Do you see the cubbies over here? Oh, George. He didn't know. Spotting the moon. Ramadan is almost over. The special month will end soon. George and the man search the sky to catch a glimpse of the moon. There it is, George points. He found it. The thin crescent shining bright. Tomorrow is the Eid festival, but the celebration will start tonight. Kareem gives George a gift. New clothes for Eid, he says. It's a fancy vest for George. And for the man, a yellow fez, which is like a special type of hat. So once the month of Ramadan is over, the special night that they celebrate and they give gifts is called Eid. So especially the grown-ups and maybe even the teenagers who have been fasting every day, Eid marks the end of that time of fasting, that month of Ramadan. An Eid celebration. Happy Eid! The holiday is here. The mosque is busy and loud. Everyone is dressed in their finest. What a good-looking crowd. George greets Kareem with a hug and spends the day with his friend. After hours of feasting and fun, they are sad Eid has to end. But soon it's time to go home. As the moon returns to the skies, George thinks of his first Ramadan and smiles as he closes his eyes. So here they all are outside the mosque, celebrating with each other and having a day of fun and food together, celebrating. What a nice story. Now, George has taught us a lot about Ramadan. Okay, so it is a whole month long. So some of us back in the winter or even in the fall in November, many families celebrated Hanukkah, and Hanukkah happens to be 7 nights long. Some of us celebrate Christmas. Christmas is a season, so to speak, but Christmas Day is one day. But there is a time leading up to Christmas. Many of you do a month before that with an Advent calendar. So we have those celebrations in the winter and in the fall, and Ramadan happens in the spring. What a lovely time to have a holiday. So it, again, a whole month. Many people who celebrate Ramadan fast. So from the time the sun comes up to the time the sun goes down, no eating and no drinking. That could be really hard to do. For some of us, it might be hard to say, I'm not going to eat until lunchtime and not have breakfast. Some of us might feel really hungry then. So you think about the people who choose to do this, to just be aware and thankful of the things that they have every day that we sometimes take for granted. So for those of you that are celebrating Ramadan, happy Ramadan. I hope you have a great month. And we will talk about Eid as we get closer. But we have a whole month until Eid comes. So I know many of you will be looking forward to that. And I know some of you will be spending some time on the computer looking at your families that you normally gather together during this time. Because right now we're supposed to stay home, and that can make holidays really hard sometimes. So if you have a friend that celebrates Ramadan, send them a letter in the mail. Happy Ramadan. I hope you have a good Ramadan month, right? Okay, so that was our story to talk about our friends who have this very special holiday that starts today. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again soon. Happy Ramadan!